Hi, all remote learners. So today we're going to be reading in our textbook uh, about the forms of energy. So we're going to begin. It is in your StemScopedia book. It's the yellow one, and it is going to be on page 13. We're going to start off. So it says here, for forms of energy, reflect. It's 3 p.m. and your friends are doing different things. Jackie is kicking a soccer ball while he's at soccer practice. Tyler is melting butter in a pot to make macaroni and cheese while he's at home. Christina just turned on her laptop to play a computer game. She can hear Shannon next door playing the piano. All of these things or all these activities require energy. However, each kid is using a different kind of energy. Do you know what type of energy they are using? Jake is using mechanical energy to run and kick the ball. Tyler's snack requires thermal energy to cook the food. Christina uses light energy and electrical energy to see and run her computer game. She can hear Shannon playing the piano because of sound energy. We use all 5 forms of energy for almost everything we do. What type of energy is being demonstrated in each of these photos? So we have the photos here. We have a child playing a guitar, someone cooking muffins, and then a child playing tennis, and then another child that is looking underneath the sheets using a flashlight. So with that, we need to figure out what type of energy they're using. We can see that the guitar is going to be, we're going to use sound with it, thermal for the biscuits or the muffins. And then the child that's playing the tennis is going to be mechanical energy. And then we have light energy with the flashlight. Oops, I went too far. Okay, so what are different forms of energy? Are you full of energy? Actually, you are. Even if you're sleeping, energy is keeping your body warm. It takes energy to close your eyes and yawn. We are surrounded by energy. It is in the air, under our feet, and in our own bodies. We use it every day in all of its forms. Energy is the ability to do work. It is the power to cause change. So let's explore some of the different forms of energy. Mechanical energy. Anything that moves is using mechanical energy. When you play soccer, you're using mechanical energy to kick the ball. Cats use mechanical energy to stretch, and ants use it to carry away crumbs. Even things that are not alive can generate mechanical energy. A car uses mechanical energy to move people across town. What do you think? So let's look at what this is. How are water and air producing mechanical energy in these photos? So when we look at it, remember, it's dealing with motion or movement. So how is it? So the air can move that kite and the water can move the soap by washing your hands. So thermal energy. When your heat is racing and your body is sweating, you know that you are using energy. The heat that your body gives off by sweating is also energy. We know this because everything is made up of tiny particles. These tiny particles are always moving, even in a frozen solid such as ice. The particles are moving very slowly. The total energy of these moving particles is called thermal energy. Heat is what causes these particles to move faster and create thermal energy. Think about adding heat to a pot of water on the stove. It gets hotter, right? This means that its temperature increases and thermal energy is present. So let's look out. Just because an object heats up does not mean the object will stay hot. Notice how bath water starts to cool as you sit in it. The water is hot because its particles are moving very quickly. It has a lot of thermal energy. However, the particles over the water absorb the air particles over the water absorb the water's heat. Over time, the water particles slow down and the bathwater cools. So we can see that based off of different things, excluding about, taking items out of the oven and trying to have them cool down before you eat them. So you are taking away that heat that they have and the air particles coming through to make sure that it does cool down. Try now. Light energy. The sun keeps us warm. It also provides another type of energy that we use every day, light energy. Light travels in a straight line from the point where it starts. It can pass through a clear piece of glass or plastic. However, it hits a solid object that you cannot see through, it will be absorbed. So shadows are created when light is stopped from going any further. Some objects will reflect light. This means the light will bounce back to whoever is looking at it. You can see yourself in a mirror because it reflects light. Light energy comes from a few natural sources besides the sun, such as fire and lightning. So we can use a block of light, to try to figure out if this will happen. So you can do this at home if you would like. And you can see based off of what you could do. I'm not going to read this part. You can read it in your textbook and you can try to do this type of activity if you feel like it. All right, so let's continue and move on. Sound energy. Sound is another type of energy we use every day. Like light, sound travels in waves. Unlike light, sound can be created by many kinds of objects. When an object vibrates, it moves nearby particles of air back and forth. These particles cause other particles to vibrate. In this way, sound waves travel through the air. If sound waves reach our ears, our brain can translate them into a sound because there are small bones in our ears that vibrate. Sound requires a substance to move through, such as air or liquid. That's why sound cannot be heard in empty space. There aren't enough particles in there. So we can see from that picture that is dealing with the experiment that they were going to do is, not the experiment, this is dealing with the sound waves. So we can see sound waves based off of what it looks like. So scientists can show the sound waves that a noise creates with a sound level meter on a computer. So you can see what the vibration is based off of what the sound is. So let's continue on. Make sure I didn't pass up anything. So looking out, electrical energy. People can create both sound and light energy using another kind of energy called electrical energy. Remember that everything is made up of particles. Some of these particles have electrical charges. When charged particles flow along a path, they form a circuit as electrical energy. Another term for electrical energy is electricity. What do you think? How are forms of energy similar and different? Scientists are able to learn about many things by observing them. We can observe some forms of energy, such as light. Other forms of energy are more difficult to observe. However, scientists can still learn about these forms by observing their causes and effects. We have reviewed 5 forms of energy that affect us every day. They are mechanical, light, thermal, sound, and electrical energy. What do these forms of energy have in common? Each form of energy causes change or does work. For example, what happens when we put a pan of cake batter into a hot oven. The thermal energy in the oven causes the particles in the batter to vibrate faster. As the temperature in the oven rises, the batter changes into a cake. How else are these forms of energy similar? Living creatures rely on them to survive. For example, plants cannot grow without light. Plants use the energy in the sunlight to make their food. People cannot survive without plants. We eat plants every day. We also feed plants to animals that help us do work or provide us with food. Let's continue on. Everyday life. How do everyday objects produce or use energy? You experience thermal energy every day. Coats, scarves, and gloves keep your body warm. The furnace heats your house or your home in the winter. The washing machine uses hot water to wash clothes. You also use hot water to take baths and showers. Your body, the air, and the water all have thermal energy. So, what do you think? Every movement we make needs mechanical energy, but we have also created tools and machines that help us use mechanical energy more efficiently or better than we could before. Hoes, spades, and shovels help us move dirt in our own gardens. Farmers rely on huge machines such as tractors and combines to grow acres of food. They are still using mechanical energy. Cars and trains also use mechanical energy to move people quickly from one place to another. Sound energy is our main way of communicating. We have invented many machines to help us communicate. Telephones allow people to talk over long distances. Loudspeakers broadcast our messages so people far away can hear them. Earphones let us hear music without bothering people around us. We use sounds such as sirens and whistles as warnings. Flashlights on a police car can be a warning. Light energy is important in our everyday activity. We must be able to see to do most of our work. Light is now built into many of our machines. Controls in stereos, microwaves, and MP3 players all appear in light. Light bulbs allow us to make night as bright as day. Our homes our homes have lights in every room. So we use all these different things that we have. Most of our machines use a few different types of energy to work. Electrical energy often supplies the power to produce other kinds of energy. For example, light bulbs require electrical energy to produce light energy and a small amount of thermal energy. Toasters require electrical energy to produce thermal energy and a small amount of light energy. Electrical energy powers a fan, creating mechanical energy that keeps us cool. Television is a perfect example of an invention that involves all forms of energy. It runs on electricity, which lights up a screen. The images on the screen produce sound energy. Mechanical energy is needed to operate the controllers. Also, the television produces a small amount of thermal energy while operating. Can you think of other things in your home that might use any different forms of energy? So this piece we can see here is there's different forms of energy and what we can use when it comes to energy.